All right, everyone, ready to dive in. We're tackling a big one today, relationships. But not just any relationship, right? We're talking about the kind you build before you even say, I do.
Exactly, that pre-marriage foundation. It's huge EE.
It really is. So we're going deep on how to make that bond rock solid, avoid some of those common pitfalls, and, build a love that lasts, not just survive the wedding planning.
Oh, absolutely. We're talking practical advice here, real world stuff, not just, abstract ideals.
Exactly. Speaking of practical, this source really emphasizes open communication, which seems obvious, but what I'm wondering is,
Yeah, it's like everyone says communicate, but how?
right, what's the difference between just talking more and actually talking smart?
It's a great question. Think about it this way. Those big arguments couples have, years down the line,
Hmm.
they're rarely about the thing itself. It's not really about whose turn it is to do the dishes. It's
It's
about,
the stuff underneath.
all those unspoken expectations that have been simmering under the surface. Proactive communication. It means addressing those expectations before they become resentment, before they blow up.
Unspoken expectations. That's such a good way to put it. It can really poison a relationship. Makes you realize how crucial that foundation of trust really is. This source even calls honesty and reliability the pillars of a relationship. What a powerful image, right? What do you think about that?
Pillars. It's perfect, isn't it? Because they're foundational, right? You remove them, the whole structure crumbles.
Hmm.
And trust. It's like that in a relationship. If you don't have that bedrock of trust, even small disagreements, they can feel like a threat to the entire relationship.
It's true. It's like you're constantly on edge. Okay, so we've got open communication, we've got trust. Now let's get real about some of those potential relationship landmines. This source really dives into the importance of setting shared goals early on, especially when it comes to finances, family, and lifestyle choices. Why are those areas so critical, especially before marriage?
Well, think about it. It's so easy to get caught up in the romance of it all, right? Assume you're on the same page about everything. But what about finances? Discovering wildly different approaches to money after you're already married. That's rough.
Oof, yeah. Recipe for disaster.
Or how about having completely different ideas about how big you want your family to be?
Mm.
Or where you want to live long term? These things matter. Talking about them early on, even if it's a little awkward at the time, honestly, it can prevent a whole lot of heartache later on.
It's true. Sometimes, you know what they say, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. That's so true in relationships. The next tip is all about respecting differences. And I love this one because it's not just about like tolerating your partner's quirks, right? It's bigger than that.
Way bigger. It's about genuinely appreciating those unique perspectives and backgrounds you each bring to the relationship. Because honestly, think about it. It's those differences that often make your bond richer, more dynamic.
Absolutely. You don't want a clone of yourself, right? You want someone who challenges you, who brings something new to the table. I love that. And, respecting those differences, truly appreciating them, it makes the next tip a lot easier, strengthening emotional intimacy.
Right, because it goes deeper than just knowing surface level stuff.
It's one thing to know someone's favorite color, right? Or their go-to coffee order. But
Mhm.
trusting someone with your fears, your dreams, your vulnerabilities, that's a whole other level.
Exactly. That's where the really deep connection is built,
Yeah.
It's one thing to have fun with somebody, but when you can truly open yourself up, be vulnerable,
Yeah.
that's how you build an unshakable bond.
That's so powerful. And it all comes back to what we were talking about at the beginning, that open and honest communication. It's the key that unlocks everything else. So let's recap. Open communication, building trust, setting shared goals early on, respecting and appreciating your differences, and then strengthening that deep emotional intimacy. These aren't just like nice to haves for a relationship, these are the building blocks.
They really are. The
Yeah.
foundation for something lasting.
And you know what? It's not just romantic relationships, right? Here's a thought for you to take with you. How can you apply these 5 tips to any close relationship in your life, your friendships, your family? Think about it.